Around 2011, my family was on a vacation in the Los Angeles area. My mother is a fan of strange museums, so she would practically drag us kids along to these weird places. She decided we should go to the Queen Mary Museum as it had a reputation for being a haunted tourist trap. I was young and very much afraid of that sort of stuff, but I didn't want to look like a wimp in front of my sibling, so I didn't object to going, plus I had just gotten a new iPod Touch and wanted to take photos with it. The ship itself was ancient and sort of run down, but the interior was pretty nice and it had that old school classy charm. We started the ghost tour and ventured into the inner rooms of the ship. The tour had rooms where we would stop and watch these special effects of ghosts, and of course that freaked me out, so I clung to the back of the group with my older brother, who was kind of a prankster but is our protector. I covered my eyes for most of the rest of the tour as the fake ghosts and loud noises completely terrified me. My older brother would do his typical teasing of tapping me on the shoulder and moving away when I turned my head. He did this a few times till I turned around and told him to quit it. Shockingly, it actually worked and he stopped tapping me, which was out of character for him, as normally he would just mess with me more. The tour ended and we went around the rest of the ship taking photos and enjoying our time there. It wasn't until we got off the ship that my brother pulled me aside with a horrified look and told me that when I told him to stop messing with me, he felt a tap on his shoulder. Oh, shoot. He said he turned around and nobody was there. I believed him as we were in the back of the tour with nobody behind us. Looking back, I think he may have been messing with me again, but it's hard to get a straight answer from him. On the car ride back, I looked through my photos and noticed that on the picture I took in the boiler room, you can see what I think is a man watching my family from behind the rails of a walkway. My friend says she can see other things in the photo, but for me, that man really stands out. Could there be other explanations for the image? I'm skeptical, but I think it may be a reflection, but it's hard to tell with low quality. When I was a child, I used to see ghosts in our old apartment in Manila. Mostly it was just blurry figures of a person that is just passing by. But one night, while I was late night watching TV, I saw a man standing in our stairs. The man is wearing all black and I can clearly see his face. I could even see that he is skin-headed. He doesn't look menacing, he is just looking, but I was so scared that I peed my pants. I told my mom about it, but she wouldn't believe me. My dad that time was a delivery driver, so I barely see him. We moved to another town after a few years. Decades later, while we were reminiscing about our life in Manila, I told my family how I used to see ghosts in our old apartment. My dad was shook and told us he used to see ghosts too. He asked me why I did not say anything. I said I told my mom, but she wouldn't believe me. My dad said he used to see a black figure of a man in our stairs whenever he comes home from work. My younger brother told us also that he used to see the same black figure around the house. Then I told them I could see him clearly and described how he looked. My dad told us the reason why he had to do a blood sacrifice of a chicken ritual is because of the ghosts he sees. He thought he was just too tired from work, and then he told us the history of that apartment and who he thinks that ghost is. A few years before we moved to that apartment, there was a tenant who committed suicide by hanging himself on the stairs. He was a nursing student studying for a licensure exam, and he rented that apartment alone so he could focus. But due to the pressure from his father, who was a military man and beats him, he decided to end his life. Ironically, I am now working as a nurse and my brother is in the military. We did not know the story until this year. So 3 or 4 years back, I can't remember the year, I was home alone and I had just gotten home from school. It was about 4 p.m. I was sitting on my bed watching YouTube as usual. And then I noticed something walk into my room. It was black, taller than my cupboard, and had a top hat. The thing that I remember vividly about it is that it had glowing white eyes. People, such as friends, have just said that it was the trick of the eye, a reflection of the light, etc. However, my curtains were closed, and I remember staring at what I thought was a shadow ghost for around a minute at least. That was what it felt like. It had a strange vibe, but I couldn't put my finger on it. I just stared at it and just stared back. Any ideas? I'm still trying to figure it out years later. This is the strangest paranormal experience I've had. I spotted an orb in a photo, doors closing by themselves slowly. My TV once started acting weird as well as turning on and off, and I had no control over it. My curtain once flew up by itself like it was floating. This was all around 4 p.m. in early evening around September, October, but before Halloween. Any idea? After reading other people's experience of this, it seems like the one I saw always had white eyes, no other facial expression, and a hat. I saw a top hat to be specific, but I never seen it since. However, I do occasionally get the feeling I'm being watched. Some people have seen it as an observer, but I'm not sure why it stared at me.